Hi, I'm Phil.
I'm Audrey.
I'm Vincent.
And you're watching Word of Mouth.
I didn't have a corrupt motive. What I was doing was in the interests of political containment.
Well, be that as it may, the direct consequences of your actions would have been that 2 of the convicted burglars would have escaped criminal prosecution. Now, how can that not be a cover-up or obstruction of justice?
I think the record shows, Mr. Frost, that far from obstructing justice, I was actively facilitating it.
I saw Frost Nixon. It's a play about the interview by David Frost of President Nixon.
London talk show host David Frost secured an interview with former President Nixon, and in that interview got him to basically apologize about the Watergate scandal.
David was coming off a kind of a tough time in his life, I think. He was having trouble getting jobs. It sounded like his career was going in the his career was disappearing, and he needed a real hot thing to bring him back up again. And so they conceived of the idea of interviewing President Nixon.
David Frost was this famous London talk show host in the 70s, and he was really more of like a socialite. He interviewed celebrities, did a lot of fluff pieces, so the whole interview was a big surprise to really the rest of the world that he was the one who secured the interview.
There are a number of other people in the show beside the two lead characters. David Frost, he has an agent who comes in who's talking to him about money, and then he sets up 3 research assistants who pop up every so often and make comments about what is going on.
Michael Shane, I didn't believe him to be David Frost. He didn't look like him, and he was very jumpy. David Frost, I think, was a little more reserved.
Michael Shane's a great actor, and I thought he did a terrific performance. It was very different from, he played Tony Blair in The Queen, but he was great.
Frank Langella was a great actor. I mean, he didn't look like him, but he got the essence of Nixon.
Mr. Langella, who played Nixon, he is wonderful, and his facial expressions, the up-close facial expressions were just as good as the way he portrayed Nixon.
Most of the set is the 2 chairs for the interviews. But in the back of the stage is a huge wall of smaller TVs, which is a great piece because not only do they show the interviews as they're happening, but as Nixon starts to give his apology, they move in closer on Frank Langella. Then you can really see his really solid performance within that kind of visual part of the play.
You can see a close-up, and then you can see the emotions. The feelings that were emitted from Mr. Nixon.
I loved it because it's a story that I didn't know about. I had no idea about these interviews. And actually when I saw a lot of the publicity and a lot of the marketing on it, I thought it might be kind of a boring play, but it's really fast-paced, it's well-directed, it's smart, it's a great story.
The man is dead. It's a long time ago. We know what he did. Do we need a play to bring that all up again?
It was a little boring, unfortunately. I thought it was a little boring. But it was the subject matter, not the way they did it, the way they're acting, and the way he portrayed Nixon, and the whole idea of the set, the way they set it up. It was wonderful. It was just, the subject matter was just a little, it was boring.
I don't know where truth came in and the writer's opinion of what happened or what words he put in their mouths. I don't know that. That would make a difference whether I like the show or not.
People who like history would be interested in it. People who want to revisit the time would be interested.
I'd say it's a must-see if you're interested in history, if you're of a certain age where you went through this and you know what's going on.
I think it's a story that not a lot of people know, and it's something that's part of history and something that people can learn from and have a really good time at the theater.
There's no defense to say that your plan failed. I mean, if I tried to rob a bank and failed, that's no defense. I still tried to rob that bank.
Will you just wait a minute there, Mr. Frost? There is no evidence of any
the
kind.
reason there's no evidence is because 18.5 minutes of the conversation with Bob Haldeman from this June period have mysteriously been erased.
That was an unfortunate oversight. Bob Haldeman is a rigorous and a conscientious note-taker. His notes are there for all to see.
Well, we found something rather better than his notes.